Hey, what's going on, my cringy crew? Welcome back to Nerd HQ. I got a bit of a different setup today. Kind of doing some laundry, if you hear that in the background or whatever. So I'm kind of busy at the moment, but I just want to make a quick video. I've been making like these review videos over WandaVision, and I wanted to get the 4th episode one out to you guys. Once again, guys, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe and turn bell notifications on. That way you're staying completely up to date with my videos, and it wouldn't hurt to leave a like. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, this is the Nerd HQ, and what we do here is we just talk about a bunch of nerdy shit. So without further ado, let's jump right directly into our topic of the day, of WandaVision episode 4, which in my opinion has been the episode that everyone has been waiting for a very long time, it feels like. From episode 1 and 3, there was very little explained. There was a bunch of hints and clues and theories and a lot of rumors that kept getting thrown around. And there's still some unanswered questions. But episode 4 was pretty much has answered a majority of everyone's questions about S.W.O.R.D., who they are, if they're friendly, if they're our enemy, and they pretty much revealed who Monica was. But the episode opens up, like, this episode is mainly based on Monica. Monica and the S.W.O.R.D. organization. And it just explains both of their backgrounds. I mean, the very beginning of the episode, it doesn't even open up with, like, a WandaVision intro. It opens up with the blip of Hulk snapping everyone back. And it shows literally Monica coming back, and it's like this whole episode, like, there's a bunch of sad and emotional moments, but there's a lot of eerie creepiness and like sprinkled in this episode as well. But it's so sad because at the beginning of the episode, once again, this video has spoilers in it, so spoiler alert. Monica's mom had died during the event in between the 5 years of the snaps, or synapsis. Okay, so in between the time Monica's mom died. If you remember her mom, she was the best friend of Captain Marvel, or I'm forgetting her real name. I'm forgetting Captain Marvel's real name it's slipping my mind. But anyways, Captain Marvel's best friend, Photon or whatever, that was her nickname. She passed away in between the time of the blip, and Monica wasn't there for it. Like, she didn't even get to say goodbye. Like, the whole, like, after she snapped back to reality, she like, the whole hospital was in chaos, and for the first time it actually showed us really the chaos of this snapback. I mean, they had like some comedic moments in like Far From Home with the snapback, but this was actual like chaos. This is actually what happens, like how crazy it could get with the snapback, because they've showed how peaceful it could be from Endgame, and they showed how comedic it could be with Far From Home, and now this one in WandaVision has showed us the chaos of the snapback and what happened with everyone when they came back, and the repercussions from and the cause and effect of it. Monica was just all like, she was overwhelmed and distraught, and just the whole situation was disorienting for her. And completely understandable. I mean, she was, for what she said, she was asleep for 20 minutes, and they say, she comes back and wakes up, and her mom's dead, and been dead for like 3 years. But after that happened, after that whole thing went down, the Marvel intro plays, and it pans off into the S.W.O.R.D. organization and what they're called and what they do. Basically, they're just like S.H.I.E.L.D., but they a more advanced S.H.I.E.L.D., because S.H.I.E.L.D. mainly dealt with stuff that was on Earth, and stuff from extraterrestrial things that would come and land on Earth. Like they were bound to Earth, but Sword, they're not bound to Earth. They are space bound as well. But after Monica came back, 3 weeks. So it pretty much confirms that the events of WandaVision take place like a few weeks after Endgame, but Far From Home takes place in the summer of like a year ahead of time of WandaVision, or about 8 months. So Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home is 8 months ahead of WandaVision, just so you guys know. But she comes back after a few weeks, after she found out her mom passed away, and after she blipped back. And Monica's actually supposed to be the one that's running Sword, because her mother is the one that started it. So Monica Rambeau's mother is the founder of Sword. But they got some other guy, Director Hayward. He looks like a snot-nosed future villain of the show or movies. But Monica, like, she has been grounded to Earth. No extraterrestrial missions or anything like that, but apparently it's direct orders from her mother, from what Director Hayward says. But he said, on the positive note, her mother did believe that Monica would come back and snap back. So that's what he said the positives were. But he did send her on a mission, a missing persons mission from the FBI, to check out what was going on, and he said to report back to him with any evidence or any news. But she goes. They explain how the helicopter, the drone or whatever, got into Wanda's world. Eventually explained the beekeeper, where he was from. Apparently he's just some random Sword agent that was in a hazmat suit that was trying to get into Wanda's multiverse, if you will. But he was trying to go underground instead of just going through, just to see if that would work, if that would help not change him, I guess. I don't know. Or if it would help him get inside Wanda's world. But it didn't. And the thing is he was attached to a tether on his back, and it disconnected because the tether ended up turning into a jump rope once it got into past Wanda's border. And the hexagons. Apparently, another clue with the hexagons is the perimeter of Wanda's world that she's created. The perimeter is in the shape of a hexagon. So that might just be some more of just Wanda's hex magic, her spell magic. And then there was a lot of clues on the board that the FBI agent Randall, he was the same guy that was in Ant-Man 2. Yeah, he was what's his freaking name? I'm losing it. He was Ant-Man's pro officer, Scott Lang's pro officer or whatever, for the house arrest. But funny guy. He's really awkward sometimes, but pretty funny. If you don't know, he also played Kim Jong in the Interview movie with James Franco and Seth Rogen. Hilarious movie. But yeah, he shows up, and when he first shows up and introduces himself to Monica, he does his little card trick. He eventually learned from Scott Lang, which is a neat connection with those movies. That's the thing with Marvel. It's so unique because it's just so it's little things that just they're just really sweet to see. But Randall ends up after he actually sees Monica get sucked into the thing after she flies a drone into it, and eventually Darcy shows up and starts figuring stuff out for everybody. She eventually figures out that there's a CBR radiation coming off of the dome, if you will, of Wanda's world, and it's sending out microwave waves that it turns into a broadcast, and she tells them to get a TV, preferably not flat, which works. So they literally are watching the WandaVision show on like an old TV at their base, and eventually they end up finding like everyone's IDs and stuff of like everyone that's on the show, Mr. and Miss Hart, and like a few other people that's on the show. But eventually they find Geraldine, and they're like freaking out. They're like, okay, there's Monica, but is she just playing along? Is she just undercover? What's going on here? So there's a lot of confusion with them. They eventually, apparently, at the end of the first episode, when it shows that woman at the desk with the sword logo and watching the show, that's actually Darcy. So they revealed that. Then, apparently, it was Agent Randall, FBI Agent Randall, that was actually contacting Wanda through the radio. But every time on the show, on their end, from what they could see on their end, it didn't show the radio blowing up or the Dottie getting her hand cut open. And it completely edited out of the show that they were watching. But for us, it showed it. So it's really weird. Like it's someone's doing the editing in this, and there's a lot of suggestions that maybe it's Mephisto, or maybe it's Agnes or Agatha Harkness, because she was the one person. Agnes was the one person that they couldn't find a New Jersey ID on their bulletin board that they had pulled up with everyone's IDs and figuring out who everyone's real names were. Agnes was one of the only ones that they didn't have. Now Dottie wasn't on the board, like her photo wasn't even on the board, so they might have, not even found out about her just yet, or had her picture printed out, or had the information on her yet. But Agnes, they had no information on. They just had her picture and information from her on the show. Now, fun fact: the person that, if you look really close at the bulletin board, it shows a picture of the guy that works with Vision at his job, and it shows something in the little details on the photo or the image that they have on the bulletin. It shows, and like someone done written out, that Vision had opened like this guy's mind up, like he was able to access this guy's mind and pretty much excuse me, and bring him out of a trance, which they didn't even show on the show, which is really weird. But it's very similar. It's like the same thing that Vision does in the trailer. It's not been shown yet, but on the Halloween episode, when Vision's in his normal Avenger outfit and Agnes is in the car just like frozen, and he touches her and her, like, his fingers like glow like yellow. I imagine that's what he did with his co-worker, but they just didn't show it for some reason. I don't know. Maybe Wanda edited that out too, but who knows? But Vision, one of the creepiest things. I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the chase here. Vision at the end of the episode, after Wanda, it shows Wanda. It actually shows what Wanda does to Monica, and instead of cutting it out, like, it actually shows what Wanda does at the end of the episode with Monica. Like, this bitch done threw Monica through 4 walls. She literally broke the 4th wall on this bitch and threw her out, like kicked her ass out of the world, pretty much, of Wanda's multiverse that she has going on. And Monica ends up just saying straight out that when she comes out, all she's saying that it's Wanda. It's all. Excuse me. She's saying that it's Wanda. It's all Wanda. So that's what she's saying. But most people are still not wanting to believe that it's all Wanda. But the way that she was acting when she threw her out, like, she told her that she was trespassing, that she was an outsider, that she pretty much couldn't be trusted, that she wanted her out. And she was so evil about it. Like, she said, I got a bad feeling. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, I actually dig it. Like, I'm digging, like, what they're doing with Wanda's character. But, like, she plays a really good villain right now in this. Like, she was she was okay in Age of Ultron, But in this, like, it's crazy how good, like, and sinister she is. It's unsettling. But after she throws Monica out, when Vision comes in and asks where Geraldine is, when Wanda tells him, that she had to go home. Well, in this episode, it actually shows what happened when Wanda turned around to see a Vision, and it showed Vision dead, like his corpse, like the gem ripped out of his head, everything. It showed him exactly how he looked after Thanos killed him, and Darcy in the episode was like freaking out because she saw Vision was alive, but she's like, he's dead, like dead, like that's not normal. And he shows up at the very end of the episode when Wanda is like confronting him with about Geraldine. He's like dead face. And the thing is like he didn't like it doesn't show it like clearly, but like after Monica's thrown out and and Vision comes in, like it's kind of blurry in the background. But before Wanda turns around, even before she turns around and sees him, he's got the dead face. So it's like he's really dead, and Wanda's literally just using her magic to really move this guy around like a puppet. Like it's literally taking her magic to keep this man fully alive. So it's like an illusion. Like she's got like this illusion of him being alive. And it's literally her magic that's keeping him alive. Like if she's unconcentrated for a second, like how she was when she had all of her attention on Monica and kicking her out, she starts losing control of bits and pieces of things in the world, like some people's memories, some things that pop up in the world, like the helicopter actually showed up in color. So that's pretty much what we're left off with. Is even after Wanda ends up telling him that everything is under control, that she has it all under control, and he's like, Vision even tells her, we can leave if you want, like we could go anywhere we want in the world, and it's so sad, but because she just looks at him, she's like, no, we can't, but we'll see. There's been like TV spots of episode 5 and 6. Big spoilers. I'm not going to spoil everything, but let's just say that a little someone is actually confirmed for the show. Just so you guys know, there's rumors about this guy actually showing up in the show, and it's not been confirmed. But the footage actually got leaked, and it's pretty much all over YouTube. It might have been taken down by now, but he's confirmed. Like it's actual images or actual footage of him on the show. Well, now it's a him, so there's a hint. And I will tell you this. Well, I mean, it's not really a spoiler because it shows it in the clips now, but even in the ones that Disney Plus actually released, Vision actually makes his way through Wanda's portal. So, will he be alive? Will he be dead? We'll just have to tune into the next one to find out what actually happens, because I do believe the next episode will be 80s themed. I'm not sure if it will be the Halloween episode. I think the Halloween episode will be the one after the next one, so it'll probably be episode 6 for the Halloween episode. And we'll find out more and more each episode that goes along, because now we're officially caught up with everything that Sword knows and everything we know. So they know just about as much as we know right now. So thank you so much once again, guys, for watching. I do give this show at least a 9 out of 10. It's very entertaining, and now that it's after episode 4, like, it explains so much, and now we know exactly what's going on. I'm really enjoying the show. I was really enjoying the show even after the first 2 episodes, to be honest. It's just a different take on Marvel, and it's specifically like spotlighted on Wanda and Vision, and they needed the spotlight. They're very good characters, and very interesting characters, because Wanda is literally like one of the most powerful beings in Marvel Comics. I mean, she was the one in Endgame. She was the one in Endgame to actually pretty much defeat Thanos when no one else could. Like, she took him on herself and with as pissed as she was, like she was pretty much tearing off bits and pieces of his armor, and he was like freaking out. Like he wanted to, even if it killed his own soldiers, he was gonna like, he said like rain fire, you know, like he freaked out. So Wanda is, she's a very underrated character, and I think by the end of this show, she's gonna be one of the most talked about characters in Marvel. So, and in my opinion, I hope Vision lives. And Billy, and I got a good feeling that Billy and Tommy, their kids, are actually going to make it out of the Wanda's world alive. I think she actually birthed the children, in my opinion, my personal opinion. I'm pretty sure she did. Because that'd be the perfect way to bring them into the new Avengers, because they in the comics they are part of the new Avengers team. Because Tommy has Quicksilver's powers, which is speed, and Billy, he actually has Scarlet Witch's powers. He has magic, like arcane magic powers. But yeah, we'll just have to see and find out, because they age quick. Just by watching the clips that I've seen, they age up very fast. So we'll see them hopefully grown up to at least young adults by the end of the show, and we'll see them actually join, you know, Kate Bishop and Scott Lang's daughter in New Avengers. But yeah, that's my theory on it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I really appreciate all the support on this channel. I will be doing more gameplay videos of Jedi Fallen Order, and let's see, Sackboy, and Resident Evil. I'll eventually get to Resident Evil. I have to force myself to get to it, but it's good content. It scares the bejesus out of me. But thank you so much, Cringy Crew, for joining me back at Nerd HQ. Hey, baby. You want to say bye to my subscribers? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Peace out, YouTube.